Welcome to the Bounty Zero X podcast. I'm your host, Angelo Adam, founder and CEO of Bounty Zero X. Bounty Zero X is a decentralized bounty hunting network powered by the BNTY token. Today is October 25th, 2018, and my guest on the show is Lucy Wang. Lucy is the Chief Marketing Officer and co-founder of Lambda. Lambda is a fast, safe, and scalable blockchain infrastructure project which provides decentralized applications, data storage capabilities with unlimited scalability, and fulfills services such as multi-chain data co-storage, cross-chain data management, data privacy protection, provable data possession, and distributed intelligent computing through logic decoupling and independent implementation of Lambda and Lambda DB. So we're happy to have Lucy with us on the show to talk about Lambda. Lucy is a senior business professional with over 14 years of progressive career development with global leading enterprise software, service organizations, as well as VC-backed startup ventures, including HP, Oracle, and SAP. She has extensive experience in domain areas covering sales, business development, marketing alliances, sales operation, and portfolio management. So, Lucy, thank you for joining us today, and welcome to the Bounty Zero X podcast.
Thank you, Angela. I'm happy to be here to receive your interview. And thanks for a wonderful introduction to Lambda and myself.
So can you give us a little bit of an introduction and an overview of what Lambda is?
Yeah, Lambda is just like what you have mentioned earlier. Lambda is intending to create a decentralized storage solution and a marketplace on top of it. We dedicated to provide the blockchain ecosystem a fast, secure, and scalable storage for dApps to store data and therefore implement successfully. In order to do that, our mission will be focused on the chain design and data integrity proof process.
Okay, great. So tell me a little bit about the company history. So when did you and the CEO and co-founder He Xiaoyang decide to start working? Yeah, when did you guys decide to start working on Lambda?
Yeah, so actually the core developer team of Lambda is from a fast-growing startup SaaS company called 1APM, which focuses on application performance management. Mr. He Xiaoyang is the co-founder of this company, and he is now the founder of Lambda project. With this business feature, the team receives big challenge of massive data processing. They developed an analysis database to deal with this huge amount of data from various application terminals. In the meanwhile, the team got great support from the open source community, as they always do to the community. Actually, including Mr. He Xiaoyang himself, most of the core team are well known in Chinese open source community. This kind of forms the origin of Lambda today. And we actually started our product design and architecture design from beginning of this year. And so this is a kind of the history of the Lambda project.
And the Lambda company is based in Singapore. And where is the team based?
Oh, no, not actually. We're not based out in Singapore. We just registered in Singapore. And the team is based out in Beijing. The whole developer team is based out in Beijing. But my marketing team is in Shanghai.
Okay, great. So the company is registered in Singapore, but the team is based in Beijing and Shanghai.
Correct.
Okay. So you guys, I just wanted to also mention that in July, Lambda announced financing from several top investment institutions, including Fund City Capital, Block VC, Blue Hill Data Foundation. And then prior to that, you also received funding from Zen Fund, Metropolis VC, and D-Fund. So was that your Series A round, or did you have a seed round before July 4th? Or June 19th?
Yeah. Actually, we only have the private round. And besides the institutional investors you mentioned, we also received financial support from like Bitmain and FBG Capital. Yeah, it's in total we have financial support from 23 institutions, and actually some of them we have like strategic partnerships, like ecosystem partnerships with like Bitmain, IOST. So we can, we utilize their like community and user bases so that they can, so their users can use our decentralized storage platform. Yeah, so that's kind of the status for the private round. And we actually closed our private round in September. Yeah, in around September. And we raised like 15 million US dollars from the private round.
So tell me a little bit about your day-to-day activities in your role as CMO and co-founder. How do you usually spend your time at the company?
Oh, yeah. So for Lambda project, like I said earlier, we started our product development from the beginning of this year, and we started our the financial raising, the fundraising from this April. And the marketing activities also started from then, I mean this April. So my day-to-day activities will be, firstly, we need to form our key messages. So speaking of these key messages, we need to, use the business language that everyone can understand, to understand what Lambda is doing. So actually we have three slogans to describe Lambda, which is one is we are like the next generation of Filecoin, which positions Lambda from a technology perspective. So we call us next generation of Filecoin. And second slogan is we are the Airbnb for the storage sector. So this is from the business model perspective. And the third slogan is we are the disruptor in the blockchain-based storage solution, which is from an overall perspective. So this is I think the most important thing we have to do for marketing. And then we the rest of things, the rest of the marketing activities are all surrounding this key message house, and we kind of build up the opinion leader, the thought leadership on the market. So yeah, so if in general, I think two things we're doing right now.
So you mentioned IPFS and how Lambda is positioning itself as a next generation Filecoin and IPFS competitor. So for those who are listening, IPFS is a file sharing protocol, and Filecoin was built on top of IPFS.
Yeah.
IPFS is based on BitTorrent protocol, which allows file sharing among users. So then there's also other players in the decentralized storage place like Storage and SIA. There's Ethereum Swap. So you talked a little bit about how Lambda has a competitive advantage and has a feature set which differentiates it from some of these other protocols. Can you talk a little bit about how Lambda is innovating on and differentiates itself from some of these other protocols like IPFS and Filecoin and like Storage and SIA and Ethereum?
Sure. Yeah, for all these storage solutions, the decentralized storage solutions you talked about, like SIA, Storj, and for SIA and Storj, they are like obsolete, projects. And according to their design, actually, they're, strictly, we can't call them like decentralized storage solution. They are just, disk solutions. But in the storage sector, only IPFS and Lambda as the competitive players in the market. I think we have been trying different ways to reach a successful process of data integrity proof. And in Lambda, we used the academic research and engineering verifications called provable data possession, which PDP, and proofs of retrievability, POR, to safekeep data information of dApps on the blockchain. So this is a kind of the innovation on the technology. And currently, we have completed this process within like MVP version 1.0. But actually, we are going to launch MVP version 3. Yeah, most likely by end of next week. So this is the core, the core part to a decentralized storage solution, because we are talking about a P2P structure, which is a permissionless environment, and we have to make sure that the important data is stored on trusted nodes, which is not provided by a P2P structure. So on this decentralized storage, to complete this data integrity proof process is the most critical part to this solution.
So you mentioned in your prior answer that there is a version 3 release that is coming next week. Tell me a little bit about some of the other upcoming dates and announcements that you're planning to release in the coming months, and what are some project milestones that you're looking forward to attaining?
Besides that, the MVP version 3, we are going to release soon. And also we have several, key dates, timing points we need to mention here. So firstly is the testnet launch, which is by end of next month, November. And then the mainnet launch will be in before next April. So these are the two, the targeted dates we are working on right now.
So you mentioned that you guys have secured funding from over 23 different VC and investment funds. So
right.
Tell me a little bit about what that has enabled you to do. So were you able to expand your team, and if so, how? And tell me a little bit about some of the benefits of that you've been able to invest in after securing this fundraising.
Yeah, so actually we will use this money mainly on two things. So one is the product development, because for this decentralized storage solution, which this is a kind of complicated project. So we need to spend a lot of time and the efforts on this product development thing. So this is one thing, and the other thing is the marketing, the brand awareness, and our position development to be a opinion leader, thought leadership. So these are the two things. And in the meanwhile, we need to keep our team compact. So currently we have a team of 20, and most, 20% of the team size is the developers. So I think, two things we will spend the money on too.
So 20% of the team is developers, and then what is the remaining? How would you categorize the remaining team members?
Yeah, actually, we for a marketing team, we only have 3 person in a local, based in an in-house marketing team, and we utilize global community managers, which are part-time jobs, not a full-time job. So they are like the community partners we have on the globe. So right now, actually, we have the Russian communities and Portuguese communities and Indian communities, Korean communities, and we have all these part-time community managers working with us.
So then you have the Lambda token. So the Lambda token is a utility token. That makes up the Lambda ecosystem, and it's used for the services that Lambda provides. A certain amount of tokens need to be pledged when providing storage services in the ecosystem. As a verifier node, a certain number of tokens need to be pledged. Verification node can receive a certain number of tokens as a bookkeeping bonus. Storage nodes receive certain amount of tokens according to the storage capacity and SLA of the service. And other roles involved in the Lambda ecosystem also receive a certain amount of tokens based on their contribution.
Yes. Okay, so you mentioned about the storage miner and also you said verification nodes, and we call this role as validator. So we have storage miner, validator, and a retrieval miner who provide retrieving services to the customers. And besides these three roles, we also have fisherman who does safeguarding work to ensure validators are doing their work properly. So all of which are the services available on the marketplace that the end user, who is the data owner, can choose to purchase. And all the service providers can get rewarded by LAM coins.
So you mentioned the three user roles, the validator, which performs transaction packing and block generation.
Yeah, and the proof of data processes.
Yeah, and then the nominators with capital recommended one or multiple validators to make decisions for them. They have no other function other than capital investment. And then the third role you mentioned, the fishermen, which are not correlated to the block packing process since their roles are similar to bounty hunters in the real world, appealed by a one-time rich reward. The fishermen report malicious behavior validator nodes through entrapment.
Yes.
Before we end, I want to make sure that there's nothing else that you think would be interesting or you think that our listeners would want to know, or any other topics which would be relevant, if anything.
Yeah, I think we covered most of the key parts of the project. Actually, for the upcoming thing will be the exchange listing, because we have completed our ICO in last month. So, but because the data of listing hasn't been finalized yet. So yeah, I think, you also mentioned about the main target of the marketing activities. Actually, current target is to obtain more people or followers to Lambda community, so that we can, get more attention to our exchange listing. But it's the market is low, so I think we are waiting for the good timing for exchange listing. And I think I hope that all the followers who are interested to Lambda project, they can stay tuned, and we will announce our listing date and the listing exchanges informations very shortly. Yeah.
Okay. And where can your community go to learn more about Lambda? Or do you have a social media channel or website, or where can they
on Telegram.
Okay.
Yeah, on Telegram. Yes. I think you have the linkage you can share with your audience.
Yeah, I will include a link in the show notes. All right, so today is October 25th, 2018. My guest on the show has been Lucy Wang, CMO of Lambda. Lucy, it was a pleasure speaking with you today. Thank you for talking to us about Lambda and the project. And we'd love to have you on the show again in the future after the ICO or the token listing has been completed and after you reach your next milestone. And it's been a pleasure. We'll include in the show notes below where people can go to learn more about your project.
Okay, the pleasure was mine, actually. Okay, thank you. I really appreciate your time for this interview. And I hope that we can keep in touch. And whenever your audience have any questions, I would be very happy to provide answers. Thank you.
Great. Thanks, Lucy. Bye.
Thanks. Bye.
Thanks for listening to another episode of the Bounty Zero X podcast. Please remember to subscribe to our podcast below. Check out bountyzerox.io, the #1 bounty hunting platform where you can complete work and earn cryptocurrency. Please consult your professional financial investment and tax advisors before making any investment in initial coin offerings. Bounty Zero X does not provide investment or financial advice and does not endorse or recommend investment in any ICOs advertised on the Bounty Zero X podcast or website.